Hey Southridge, Pastor Brent here with my update for August the 27th. And can you believe the changes we've had to go through this week? All the things coming down on our heads. It's like a broken record. Like every moment we think we got it right, all of a sudden our whole world is being upended again and again. And yet this time it seems a little different. I don't know about you, but to me, these changes seem a little harder. Because I'm getting the sense that there's less unity out there, there's more polarization, there's less flexibility. And so I'm going to give you a little health tip, a mental health tip, free of charge. Maybe get off your social media for the next couple of weeks. You'll probably find yourself feeling a whole lot better. But what do we do with the changes that are before us? What does it mean for Southridge? And to be honest, there's no real easy answers. Because we have an issue here that has so many competing values. Like there's the value of protecting the vulnerable, keeping people safe. There's the value of personal freedoms and rights. There's the value of trusting or not trusting those in authority, or trusting or not trusting the science behind everything. And there's even this value of what's an acceptable level of risk for our lives. You know, our approach through this whole time of COVID has been this. We will obey the health orders and we will use wisdom to figure out how to apply the health orders and the guidance that we're given. And this week is no different. This past week, I have had a ton of conversations. I've been seeking a ton of advice to help us make a decision with these new orders. I have talked to healthcare professionals, I've talked to educators, I've talked to other pastors, I've talked to leaders and people in our church and others in the community. And you know what? There is no one answer that satisfies everybody in this situation. And so how do we move forward? I think there is some common ground. Obviously, we're going to obey the health orders. Obviously, we do want to protect the vulnerable. And I want to make sure that you have all the information you need to make the appropriate choice for you. And whether that's to join us in person this weekend or to join us online with our online service. And so, what are we going to do? You know what? I kind of feel like the guy that's being led in front of the firing squad. All I'm missing is my blindfold and that cigarette they give the guy as the last puff. That's a little how I feel. But so here are the things that we're going to do. And this is for the next 2 weeks. And I want to be really clear. This is for the next 2 weeks because it's probably going to have to change after that. So for the next 2 weeks, here are the 4 changes you need to be aware of. The first one is this. In our children's ministry, we are going to continue to have our children's ministry on Sunday morning be outside. And we did that intentionally this summer because we know it's safer for them in terms of potentially catching COVID when they're outside as opposed to inside. There is one change we're making though. We are actually going to start our children's ministry programming at 10 a.m. instead of 10:15. So there will be no kids dismissal in the service. The kids will actually not even come inside the building. So when you get here, we're asking you to go to the north side of the building, register outside because there will be a registration, find John, and then your kids will be led to the back field and they will be entering into their program. John is telling me to tell you, to encourage you, registration will be open at 9:45 to 10 o'clock with the program starting at 10. So that's the first change. The second one has to do with our nursery and our Thrive ministries. We, because they're in the building for the entire time that you're here, our volunteers who are participating and leading those ministries will be wearing masks. So our people in the nursery will be wearing masks, and our Thrive buddies and leaders will be wearing masks as part of our protocols. The third thing has to do with Hub, so our youth program. We are going to be following the same mandates that schools have been asked to follow. So what this means is that when our Hub program is in our building inside, we will be requiring our youth leaders and our students to wear masks. If they are outside, there are no restrictions. There's no mask mandates for events that take place outside. So we will be doing that starting this coming week. And then lastly, what does it mean for Sunday morning? For Sunday morning, for the next 2 weeks, we are recommending that you wear masks. We are not mandating it. This is within the public health orders that have been given to us in terms of worship services. So that's what you need to know for this week. And I want you to know that there has been a lot of wrestling with this. And this has not we have not made these decisions lightly or easily. And I realize that as you're hearing the decisions we've made for the next 2 weeks, you might not be in full agreement with them. And I understand that. And so what I'm asking basically is that you just continue to extend grace to myself and the staff and the other leaders in our church, even if you don't agree with some of the decisions that have been made. But even more than that, I just ask that you would continue to pray for me and our staff and our leaders as we continue to try and navigate these very difficult waters. And so that's all I got for this week, other than to say, in the newsletter that goes out this week, there will be a little more detail in terms of how we made our decisions, why we're making our decisions, and other decisions beyond even the 4 that we've given you. So check on your newsletter. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter, you can do so by going to our website. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week, Southridge.